Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special Let's Reminisce podcast. This is a podcast about our top 5 favorite monsters in gaming. It could be survival horror related or outside of survival horror, but I'd like to introduce our guest. Here we have Mr. Bow Double Down. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Hey, how's it going? I think this one's gonna be interesting given that there's a lot of monsters that talk about, but I think we're gonna have like very different answers from one another. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other people thought was, a really good monster design.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we have Mr. Yu Kirby,
Hey, what's going on?
Mr. Previous History,
Hey yo, what's up?
Mr. Brandon Williams. Introduce yourself.
Hi.
And we we have Mr. Kaneki on backup. Always subtle, Brandon, always. So, who wants to take the first one? You know what? Actually, I think, should we go down the list again, Dom, like we did before? It's me and everybody else.
Well, do you mind if I have, because Reapers couldn't make it, but I said that I would read off his list for him.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Because he couldn't make it, so
Do his first.
I can read off his. So, he mentioned as number 1 the Necromorph Brute from Dead Space. Number 2, Pyramid Head. Number 3, which I thought was the funniest shit when I read it, Blanca from Street Fighter. Alma from Fear, and the Clickers from The Last of Us. So that was his list.
It's not bad. I think the Blanca thing was a joke, but
It was
No,
funny.
He's a monster. He's definitely a monster.
oh yeah, a freakish,
That's what he said too.
a freak of nature. So, I guess I'm gonna go down the list from us being on Discord, starting with me. My first pick was Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. I love that monster. Just completely relentless, brute force. He bashes through doors, windows. He has a rocket launcher. He's fucking badass. Number 2 is the Hunter from Resident Evil 1. I hate these things, but for a good reason, because, they decapitate you instantly. You gotta be aware of them. You gotta be careful. You gotta be quick on your feet. So they give you that sort of added sense of danger.
Really quick, I don't mean to interrupt during your listing of monsters and whatnot.
Oh, no,
but
go ahead.
why specifically the hunters from 1 and not just kind of broaden it from all of the hunters in the series?
I think it's because, it's their first appearance. It's the first time you see them. When you come back to the mansion, it's like, oh shit, you're not really expecting this. The fact that they just crash through and they come after you, and it's like, oh shit, you figured there would be zombies coming after you, but the fact that the first game introduced this more agile enemy, it really got to me my first time seeing them. Like, there's no disrespect to how the series progressed the hunters with the frog hunters and with the fish-like hunters that could swallow you whole. I just think that the first one made their introduction a lot more memorable than expected. And that's what I really loved. I think that in Resident Evil 3 they were the most aggressive, but in Resident Evil 1 they were really just so memorable and very, very dramatic in their appearance and how they showed up and chased you down. It really got to you the first time you saw it, and you really didn't know that whole decapitation mechanic. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay.
I think my third monster here is U3 or It from Resident Evil 4. Just the design of this thing is kind of disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. But I like that stuff. Number 4 is Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. Just the fact that he symbolizes a lot of James's torment and suffering, and he's his executioner. I really hated the fact that later games try to take this concept and apply it to other characters, and it doesn't make sense because he's James's monster. But I like Pyramid Head overall. Seeing him in Silent Hill 2 was pretty spectacular. And number 5 is the Regenerator from Resident Evil 4. The breathing, man, that really gets to you when you first hear it. And you don't hear any music, you cut around the corner, and then all of a sudden there's a regenerator standing right there when you see the second one. So I like that monster a lot.
The one in the prison is the friendliest one because you could just walk up to him and give him a big old hug.
Oh yeah.
Towards the end of the game, he's just looking around, just like, where is this fuck? And you could just be like, hey, buddy. That's a nice little grin you got there.
I saw your video. Yeah, the eyeball spazzing out is it's just fucking ridiculous the way you see
Yeah,
it. But the horror factor, especially the ones that have the spikes on them, I like those too. Those are pretty innovative.
Oh,
how
the
they,
Iron Maidens?
Yeah, the Iron Maidens. The variation, it keeps it very disgusting, and the fact that you have to change up your tactics because you can't get too close to them. I thought that was also something that was pretty cool to see.
Mhm.
So
I can read off my own list.
actually, it's Brendan's turn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Okay, starting from number 5, I gotta go with Chris Walker from the first Outlast game. Because while, yes, he's maybe human-ish, but he's been genetically altered to look like a monster. And man, this guy's relentless. He's literally the nemesis in that game. He's everywhere, and he's your worst nightmare. Fighting him or getting close to him is like game over. Number 4, I probably will go with the Archfiend from Ninja Gaiden 2 because he looks disgusting as God knows what, and then his later form looks pretty beastly. So yeah, there's that. Number 3, I probably go with Mundus from Never Cry 1. After he goes to his angelic bald head looking form, I guess. And then he go after a certain point, he's battle damage and all these hands and eyeballs are sticking out of him. Like that was nasty. Number 2, I was like confused between two of them, but I go with Mr. X because his design was freaking incredible in the final fight.
Ah, the original, the original Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but the best coat is on the Resident Evil Damnation movie.
Oh yeah, I remember those fucking things. They're pretty. They look awesome. They really did.
Yeah. As for number 1 is Nemesis, of course. Because you gotta pay respect to the best monster, that chases you down relentlessly.
That's
And
probably
stars.
number one on Dom's list.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be number 1 on people's list. Maybe I don't know.
Probably, he's very popular.
I could have
Yeah, I
played
mean-
Usa next though, but I like Nemesis more.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my list now. So I hope you guys enjoy my boring list.
Well, Dom, it's your turn.
Alrighty, so I'm this isn't like, top 5 or anything. This is just like 5 that I thought of that were pretty cool. So number 1, Nemesis. Resident Evil 3 is like my favorite game, so I had to go with Nemesis. I just like
Amen.
how grotesque he looks and all that. He's got a bitchin' coat and whatnot, and he's grinning at you. He's like, bruh, I just want some stars. Just here, come play with my tentacle.
You don't mean he wants a Jill sandwich?
Oh yeah, no, he wants a Jill sandwich, but he also wants to tentacle rape Brad Vickers in the face.
Oh God, let's not get into that.
Jesus Christ, Dom.
Yeah. Next up, Reborn Laura from The Evil Within. I actually really like that monster design. There's a lot of monster designs I like in that game. But that one in particular was probably my favorite because when I was playing that game for the first time, that going up against that monster just made me feel very tense because I just didn't know what to do.
Dom, personal question.
Yes,
What were your thoughts on the Keeper?
I actually really like the Keeper. Really like the Keeper. Yeah, probably my favorite boss to go up against in that game. The only thing, and this is actually something that the art designer for that particular monster had said too, was that she wished it was a more of a killable monster or boss, and I would have to agree with that. As much as I like the psychological aspect of the Evil Within, I would have much rather have preferred that the Keeper specifically was an enemy that you could kill.
Oh yeah, he does come back a lot in the game, so I see
Yeah.
what you're saying with that. So continue.
So afterwards, I have the Sin Scissors or Scythes from Devil May Cry 1. Seeing those and just you hearing them laugh and whatnot, it's just it reminds you of these Grim Reaper type of witches just because of the way that they laugh and whatnot. So I always really like those.
Dom, I'm surprised you didn't say the death size because no, those are more frightening, if you ask me.
I was gonna say that too, but I just wanted to go with the one you encounter first. So that's what I wanted to go with. Up next, the doll from Genma Onimusha. If you play that version of Onimusha, there's like a doll that you encounter, and the only way you can kill it is using your magic attacks with your weapons. You can't kill it with any other type of attacks. So it is something that it's a very it's almost like a nemesis type of monster that constantly chases you around if you don't try to stop it and kill it. Otherwise, it will relentlessly chase you from room to room to room until you're dead. So that's why I like that monster. And then my final pick is the Grey Child, or the children from Silent Hill 1 that you run into in the elementary school in Silent Hill 1. Playing that game, and just like, you get these like little kids, and they're like, 4 or 5 of them in a group, and they're trying to shank you with the little knife, is like freaking creepy as hell. And you're in just like this dark, bloody, disgusting room and whatnot. It's yeah. So that's why I wanted to go with that one, because I don't know, I just felt like that one was a good pick.
They have some weird animations. I always call them the blowjob monsters because it looks very awkward. What they're doing when they're trying to stab you or eat you. I swear to God, Morgan Webb, she made that exact same joke I did.
Get your head out of the gutter, you run.
But I guess we can move on to Mr. Yu Kirby. So what are your picks, good sir?
First of all, I have to give an honorable mention to Nemesis. Sadly, he is not part of this list, but he is very awesome. He's one of the best rivals in Resident Evil. Number 5, I have the Grey Children from Silent Hill. Exactly as stated. Plus, I do find the noise they make really adorable rather than creepy. Number 4, I have Phantom from the original Devil May Cry, the spider. He was annoying to fight, but I honestly found the fact that he was a flaming stone spider awesome. Number 3, I have the Incubus from Silent Hill, which is only unlockable if you get good or good plus. It's a really cool design, and the fact that you actually can screw the game up with easily. Just
isn't the Incubus the deity?
I believe so.
Because I know there's like 2. You get the Incubus, and you get that sort of demon figure if you mess the game up. I forgot what it's called.
Hold on. That is called the Incubator.
Yeah, the Incubator. Yeah, okay. So I remember there's 2 bosses if you do certain things. So yeah.
Yeah, the white lady. Yeah. Number 2, I have to give to Grace and Glory from Bayonetta. These 2.
Oh, fuck those guys.
Yes, fuck them. But they are but honestly, I like the fact that they basically made a duo combo that's reminiscent of Agni and Rudra from Devil May Cry 3.
The gold ones are worse.
Yeah, but still. And speaking of Devil May Cry 3, number 1 is Cerberus.
Oh,
this is my favorite incantation of Cerberus, because honestly, raise your hand if you've never seen Cerberus do anything but fire, except for Devil May Cry 3.
In God of War Ascension, he shoots dark matter at you, or souls if you go by that game logic.
Dark matter, fire, whatever.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3 is awesome because they go, screw that. He's an ice monster. Just fuck all that. Ice monster. And it's like, for first boss, he's actually really tough, but he kind of becomes cake once you get Agni and Rudra. So, those are all my choices.
Okay, so it is now the turn of Mr. Previous History, so go ahead and name off your list, good sir.
All right. Well, I have no Nemesis on my list because personally I haven't played those games. Don't hate me. But
Kellis, man.
Number 5, I have to put down Killer Croc from Arkham games because, I mean, he's freaking towering in the games. He is huge, and the first encounter in Asylum is like creepy.
Dude, his death scene is quite gruesome, actually.
Yeah. It's just it's in my head all the time when I was thinking of this list. But then at number 4, I got to put down Chris Walker from Outlast because he's just relenting and he's along every corner, and always scared me.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Pyramid Head because he's just a badass looking character. He's like someone I would want to cosplay. He just has the most iconic look, I feel like, in most of my list. Number 2, I have to go with the Gaping Demon from Dark Souls because this thing is disgusting. If you have seen it, if you have not, just look up a picture of it. It's disgusting, and it freaked me out when I played the game before.
I'm probably gonna do that
And
right
at number
now.
1, yeah, look it up right now. I just thought of it when people were talking. It wasn't on my list originally. It is, ugh. And at number 1, I feel like none of you are going to understand what this is, but it's from a game called SCP Containment Breach, and it's SCP number 173.
I
Basically,
remember that game.
yeah, basically, this is, the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. It's the Weeping Angels, but before Doctor Who existed, before the Weeping Angels existed in Doctor Who. This thing is a freakish, like, baby, but like adult-sized baby statue that follows you around when you're not looking and like instantly tries to kill you when you look away. It's so creepy, and just it spawned the whole SCP, like, I don't know what to call it. Not a fandom, but the whole idea of SCP. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's a very interesting text-based. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, it's very, very scary.
I
That's
gotta
basically
look.
my list.
I gotta look that up. But
Yeah.
I think for the most part, this has been pretty short because we didn't have an extra man. But we can work with this. So the next podcast we're gonna have on Let's Reminisce is going to be the top 5 most creepiest moments in video games. So I think that's gonna be pretty interesting. So we're gonna do our outros here. So Mr. Previous History, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube with Previous History because I'm starting doing stuff on there. You can find me on Twitter at CILM23. And I occasionally stream. I'm trying to stream more on Twitch under Previous History, so just look up the name, you'll find me.
All right. What about you, Mr. Brendan?
You can find me on both Twitter and YouTube as Arcade Magic Fan 14. I just do random Let's Plays that I feel like doing, so yeah. I'll also be finishing my stuff soon, so stay tuned.
All right. So Mr. Biodevil Dawn.
You guys can find me as biodevil_Dom on YouTube and on Twitter, and then on Twitch you can find me as Dom241996. Still kind of on hiatus when it comes to streaming like Shenmue 2 and going on mic with streams. Still trying to figure that out, but as soon as I do, we'll get back to Shenmue 2.
Okay, so Mr. Yu Kirby, where can we find you and what do you do?
You can find me on Twitter at DarkChaosXX. You can find me on Twitch under Yu Kirby. I need to get back to streaming. Hopefully I should be able to stream Thursday. And I'll be doing the JoJo Bizarre Adventure fan game, 7th Stand User. And you can find me on YouTube under Yu Kirby too.
All right, Mr. Kaneki, you want to outro yourself really quickly?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube under the same name known as Groove or Order.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter at RenOperative_. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative, where I will be uploading this podcast and various other things. I think I'm going to do a review on Luke Cage, so look forward to that. We also have more Halloween stuff upcoming, so believe me, this is not it. There's a lot more coming. I think tomorrow is going to be special to all the people who love necromorphs and necromorph slaying and all that, because we're going to be talking about Dead Space in an episodic discussion. So I'm really hyped for that. I'm looking forward to it. So be on the lookout for that. This is the TCP signing off. Hopefully you guys have a great day. See you out there in YouTube land.
Later.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye bye.
Go to sleep.
On Twitter.